Hi, everybody. I am Katie Harlan, and I just attended the new leadership conference in LA, and I'm here to tell you about what I learned while I was there. I'm going to try to keep it short. I've got 6 takeaways that I felt were the most important. But first, I want to tell you how to get to the new leadership conference in case you're curious. So, to qualify, you need to be a 2-star diamond by the end of the year. A paid 2-star diamond. I believe they changed it so that last year it was just you had to be a 2-star diamond at some point, a lifetime 2-star. Now I believe you have to be a paid 2-star diamond by the end of the year. And then you have to have a certain number of elite points. And I don't remember the number. But that is how you qualify. So if you're interested in going, make sure you check the FAQs now so that you can be setting your goals up through the year to get there. It's a really cool experience. You can only go once, so now that I've been, I can't go again. The whole point of it is to get you to be an elite coach through this year. So they're hoping that the people that were there are going to be groomed and taught the things that we need to know so that we can be an elite coach for 2016. And all of the sessions were really about how to do that. I don't feel like I learned any secrets. I always feel that way at these trainings. It's never like, oh, they've been keeping this from us. This is why I haven't become an elite coach. It's not that. I mean, we all know, what we need to do, but there were some really great reminders and some helpful tips. So, I'm going to just share with you those things today. By the way, the new leadership conference is always in January. So the other one during the year is the leadership conference, and that's for 5-star diamonds and above, and that takes place in San Diego in October. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is if you have your sights on being a premier or an elite coach, remember the points are the same for both. You need 135 points. Premier coaches are 2-star, 2, 3, 4-star coaches, and elite coaches are 5-star and above with those same amount of points. Last year, I said I wanted to be a premier coach, and I really only focused on that 2-star part. I didn't think about the other points or how to get those really. I mean, I kind of knew, but I just thought it would happen until like November. And then I kind of paid attention to my elite report that you get monthly. And I'm like, oh, I'm kind of close to this. I really should have tried harder throughout the year. And I didn't get it. Our team was 6 points away, which is fine. But I just want you to learn from my mistake. And if you are interested in that, you need to print out the sheets that are online. And you need to watch the 12-minute video from corporate about how to fill these out. And you need to keep this close to you. If you work this worksheet every month, plug in your numbers, see what you need, you can totally do this. This is totally achievable, but it isn't by accident. It is a very kind of thought out, strategic plan for hitting those goals. The main thing to concentrate to get elite is to help your coaches from 2015 and this year, the new coaches you signed to hit Success Club. That's the first thing that you'll do to get you those points. You get a point for every time one of those coaches hits Success Club, and then they're doubled when you hit it. And of course, you're going to hit it, right? So that's one way to get it. The other way is the volume of your new coaches from 2016. Every time they hit 500 PV, you get a point. The third way to get it is kind of, you don't worry about it so much at the beginning of the year, kind of in the middle of the year, you start looking at it. It's incremental volume. So it's every 10,000 PV over what you did last year, you get a point. So really the one you're going to focus on the most is the Success Club of those coaches from last year and this year. And the big part of this is that you need to be recruiting, because that second column, that second category is all about your new coaches. So you can't be an elite coach if you're not recruiting. And you really need to be recruiting 2 to 4 coaches a month. 2 every month wouldn't do it. If you did 2 some months and more others, that could work. But it really shows you when you fill this out that the earlier in the year that you recruit, the higher your PV will be from those coaches, and the higher your points will be. So this is strategic. I won't go into any more detail about it because you guys can read it and go to the video, but it is strategic, and it is something that you need to be diligent about following. You won't hit elite and you won't hit premier if you just kind of hope that it happens. It just won't that way. Okay, so that's the first takeaway. Get that report out. Start, and recruit. It is about recruiting and helping your coaches hit Success Club. I'm sorry it's so dark. It's not even dark in here, but it's just bad lighting. I need a light by my desk. Okay, the second thing I want to talk about, Carl talked about this, and then a couple other coaches hit on it. They are probably going to add a 4th vital behavior to our 3, and the 4th will be recognition. And I think it's great because what's rewarded or what's rewarded or recognized is repeated. Isn't that brilliant? It's like, oh yeah. So we can do that with our challengers, and we can do that with our coaches. And recognition just goes so far. It's so important. Our company, Beachbody, they do that for us. They show us that it matters and it's important, and so we need to be doing that for others. So just make sure that you are recognizing your coaches, and it doesn't have to just be for Success Club. It really shouldn't just be for Success Club. It should be for all sorts of things they're doing, posts that you like, people that they're helping, going outside of their comfort zone, just different things like that. And then of course, your challengers. It's really fun to kind of highlight different people within your group or outside of your group, on social media, if they're okay with that too. So that's my second takeaway. All right, my third takeaway, man, I just love this one. So this was Michelle Myers who spoke. So we had Melanie Mitro, she spoke twice, Michelle Myers, and then Bonnie Engel. And Bonnie Engel just had a really great call recently, National Wake Up Call, about recruiting. So definitely listen to that if you haven't. But back to Michelle Myers, she talks about you can catch bluegill. So I'm in a fishing, analogy here. You can catch bluegill with spit and Tupperware. You can spit into the water, and they'll see this little glimmer, and they'll think it's food, and they'll swim over it, and you can take your Tupperware and scoop them up. But bluegill are nasty. They're small, and they're dirty, and there's not much meat on them, and nobody eats bluegill because they're not good fish. They're not a good quality fish. To get a good quality fish, you need a good quality bait, and you probably know where I'm going with this. If you are using the wrong bait to recruit coaches, you are going to get poor quality coaches. So an example, if you are using the bait of money, make money, join my team, you're going to get coaches who are in it for the money. And then when they do something good, they'll want to be rewarded with money, or they'll leave quickly because they need the money to stay interested. And we all know that you don't see the money right away. It takes a little time, right? This was a huge moment for me because I've done this a lot. Not because I'm in it for the money really, but because I'm just fascinated that you can make money doing this. So, I thought, people want to do this for the money. So that's what I did. And, I have a great team and great coaches, but the coaches that are doing something on my team are not in it for the money. The high quality coaches are in it for something more. And so use the right bait. So if you, and don't be afraid. If you want somebody who's hardworking and who, has to put in their skin in the game, get their skin in the game, then kind of say that. Like, don't be ashamed of that. And I thought, okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. Okay. Number 4, Melanie talked about this and I loved it. She talked about creating a monthly marketing plan. So she runs her challenge groups the 3rd week of the month. And so she spends the first 2 weeks recruiting for those. And all of her posts and all of her, everything she's putting out there sort of have to do with her challenge group. So maybe she's doing recipes and transformation stories and, sweaty selfies and that kind of thing. Then the second 2 weeks of the month are spent on recruiting for her Coach Basics group, which she calls a Coach Apprenticeship group, and she runs it on the first Monday of the month. So all of her posts then have to do with transforming your life and your finances and, all the benefits of coaching and all the things it's brought into her life. So what she does, and I have to pull out my notes here because it's kind of detailed, she does a whole system for this. And I don't want you to get overwhelmed if you're not doing this or if you feel like it's too much. I just want to tell you what the top coach is doing, and you can kind of modify and pick and choose what you like. But I think it's a really great system. And by the way, she says that you're not going to, you probably won't see the benefits of this until like the 3rd month. And I think that's true for a lot of what we do. So she says if it doesn't work right away, don't get discouraged. So first she creates like a theme. So like an example is, and I'm talking about coach recruiting right now, maybe the theme is busy moms build a business. I like that one. Or transform your life, or whatever the theme is. Then she creates a YouTube video about her Coach Apprenticeship group and about kind of what she's looking for. She creates images that go along with her theme. So if she's doing busy moms build a business, she'll make some images about looking busy, being busy, maybe working out with your your kids in the background, or cooking with your kids, or being on your laptop while your kids are next to you, or whatever. Then she sets up a business opportunity call, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But, an opportunity call, I think the 3rd week of the month. Yeah. She sets the date for the sneak peek. She says she usually does it the 3rd week of the month, and the biz op call is during that week. And then this is how she gets the word out. She makes a blog post, and she puts that's the information source. She shares it on Facebook and Instagram. She embeds her coach application. She uses Wufoo for that. She talks about it daily for 1 to 2 weeks. So then everything that she's putting out there kind of goes with that, right? She's got the blog post, the YouTube video, the images that go with it, the coach application, and everything is just packaged nicely. And she says it takes her like a day to create all of that material, and then she goes live with it. And when she goes live with it, like on a Sunday evening or a Monday night, like when people are on, not just during the day, during a downtime. It's during a high traffic time. And for after she goes live, she kind of drips about it, for 7 to 10 days, she drips a little information here and there about it, kind of inserting those links as appropriate. So I really liked that idea. It just, it sometimes can feel like we're just like grasping for anything, by posting, and to have a real plan where we know for these 2 weeks my focus is on recruiting, and for these 2 weeks my focus is on challenge groups, and so all of my efforts are going towards this or towards this. I thought that was really helpful. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I said I wanted to talk about the business opportunity calls. So Melanie still runs these every month, and she said the first time she ran it, she did it because she was a 2-star diamond, and she did it because she didn't want to share her uplines video. She wanted to look like the expert or the leader, right? You want to look like you know what you're talking about to your prospects. So she hosted a call, and she said the only other person on it was another coach, but she decided to run it anyway because she recorded it so that she'd have this recording so she could share with somebody. If they said, oh, I wanted to be on, but I couldn't be on, you have the recording. And then she would. She said the second month she did it, she had 2 people on. One was a coach and one was a potential client. She did it again and had that recording. And she said by the 3rd or 4th month, I had real people on there. And I just thought it was such a good reminder that, I think we want this to go fast, and we want to be successful quickly, and it takes some time. It takes some patience and digging deep and just kind of being humble about it's humbling, right? When you do a call and nobody's on there, that's very humbling, but that's important. It helps us grow, it helps us get better, it helps us practice, and it makes you the expert, right? So I really like that idea. Okay, to position yourself as a leader. Another thing that Melanie talked about is she says she's always filling her pipeline, so she's not relying on anyone else. Okay, this was big for me. If you have been in the business for any time, you know that sometimes coaches drop rank and that affects your rank. And it's kind of an uncomfortable position to be in, to always be worried about what everybody's doing because it affects you. So the way around this is to always be filling your pipeline and building, so that you really don't have to worry about that quite as much. And Melanie Mitro, 2-time #1 coach in the network, elite coach, she invites every single day. I mean, that's amazing to me. When I heard that, I thought, whoa. I really assumed that once you got to the top, you just let people come to you and manage your team. But the reason she's so successful, you guys, is because she doesn't do that. She's continuing to invite, she's continuing to build and fill her pipeline, so that if coaches quit or, things happen in their lives and they're just not in it as much, that's okay. That's going to happen. That is going to happen. But if you're filling your pipeline, it's not as much of a concern, right, to your organization. So I thought that was a really good reminder. Let's see. Okay, and then the last thing that I just really liked and I keep thinking about is Carl presented this to us, and he talks about being a hedgehog. So hedgehogs aren't very special. They aren't really fast. They're not really smart. They're not particularly beautiful. They just don't have many talents. But there's one thing they do really well, which is when they're in danger, they roll in a ball and they put their quills up, right? So nobody wants to mess with them. And he talks about being a hedgehog. Like, take what you're good at, what you're really good at, and just go with it. And do that really, really well. So if you're really good at connecting with people privately, through Messenger, focus on that. If you're really good at, building people up in your challenge groups and making them feel really great, do that really well. If you're really good at taking selfies, do that. Like, do what you're good at. Lindsay Matway's talked about this before, about taking those things that you are like a 7 or 8 at and making them a 9 or a 10, rather than working on the things that you're a 2 and 3 at and getting them to be a 4 or 5. And I think that makes a lot of sense. We always want to try to get better, right? But if you're really good at something, really zoom in on that, hone in on that, and own that. Let's see. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, in the same kind of aspect of that, Bonnie Engel, who is, she's one of the top coaches, I believe. She spoke to us. She's kind of on fire. And like I said, she has a great national wake-up call. But she said, if you are following top coaches, quit. And this was coming from a top coach. I really liked that. She says, it's just so distracting and it gets in your head and you don't really need that. Like, unless you need to type in their name and get a quick idea for something or check something out, don't follow them. Just do your thing and keep your head down and keep going forward, get the blinders on. That is so much better than just being distracted by constantly checking everybody else's stuff out all the time. Okay, and then the other part of Carl's speech, be a hedgehog, and he talked about be disciplined. And this was a theme throughout a lot of the talks, and I really just appreciate that message. Just, schedule your work hours, have a place to work, set your goals, write them down, get your workouts in, drink your shake. Like that, you do need to be disciplined to have some success in this business. It's not just luck. The people that work hard and put in the time and stay disciplined, they see the results in their fitness, right? The more disciplined you are, the more yellows you say no to, the more workouts you get done, you're going to see more results. It's the same with your business. If you, say no to Facebook scrolling and get up a little earlier and stay up a little later and do the things that are hard that most people aren't willing to do, your star will shine and you will rise to the top. And I truly believe that. I mean, I saw so many examples of that. Just people that just pushed a little bit harder, a little bit longer, and they just go up, up, up. Okay, I think that's it, you guys. I have another topic about that's I found interesting that Melanie talked about time management, but I think I'll do a separate video for that. So be looking for that, and I hope that is helpful. And I hope you guys, several of you, get to go next year. And if not that, how about leadership this year in San Diego? That would be amazing. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you soon.